Our live stream is off and running, and my name's Moshe, and I'm coming to you from Israel, where I live, uh, in the Galilee, actually, and it's the morning of March 9th. It's about 8:10 in the morning here, and our weather is unfortunately very uncomfortably cold. 51 degrees. That's very cold for us. High of 65, which will be some relief, but it's not going to get us the house warmed up. These concrete and tile houses, I'm going to need more than that. I'm going to need about 75 degrees. But it's entirely sunny all day. Straight up sunshine. And tomorrow, the same thing, high of 69. And then Wednesday, partially cloudy, we get 73. The house could start to warm up. Then Thursday, 73. Then Friday, 70. Saturday, 73. So the house is going to be somewhat warmer. And Sunday again, but now it drops to 68. And then we get a chance of rain, 45% on Monday. I've been praying that doesn't come to pass because that cools everything down again. And then Tuesday we get up to 70. So if the house can get several days of over 70 degrees, usually 3, minimum 4 usually, then what happens is the chill in the house goes out. But the house is 10, 15 degrees colder than what it is outside. If I walk outside now, it's probably going to be warmer out there. So we got to use the heaters. It burns the electric bill up. It's very annoying. I never saw a house in Israel with wall-to-wall carpeting, never ever. And I would say 95% of the houses have no insulation. So they keep cool with all the concrete house, concrete roof with tile, concrete floor with tile, walls of concrete. So it keeps the house cool in the summer, 10, 15 degrees cooler. It works then. But in the winter, it's misery. But the summer is longer than the winter. So the geniuses figured out, let's just build it for the summer. Why couldn't they just understand the concept of insulation? You've got the concrete walls, great. So you put some sheetrock in, 2 inches, 3 inches inside the house, and you fill that up with insulation, and then you got sheetrock, and so what? Now you got a heavily insulated house. Your electric bill goes down. You're cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. I can't believe they don't do it. It's just shocking, but they don't. Maybe they have a reason that I don't understand. I don't know. All right, we're going to cover the war today. Israel's clobbering the oil in Iran. The military and security forces in Iran are getting clobbered. Other countries are about to enter into the war, but just a little so far, if anything. Lots of false rumors. Some anti-Semites running around saying that Israel's port in Haifa was hit and burned. The people that live in Haifa that see the port out of their window all the time don't know anything about that, but maybe this guy has inside information. Maybe it's an invisible fire, These people hate Israel, is what it is, All right, and we're going to cover some domestic stuff with the FBI in America, and we're going to go through what happened with the oil prices, what's it look like, where's it going to go, and at the same time, oil went up markedly. Gold and silver, well, gold went down a little bit more, and silver went down a tiny bit. So that's curious, to say the least. we were hitting 119 on the WTI and the Brent on the oil. I think we're about there right now. That's a lot. The oil prices before this war started, going back, were 60-ish, a little over 60. So it's not quite doubled. Doubled would probably be 128 or 126, but it's almost doubled. And it's not done. It's going to keep going up. And we'll cover why. Gasoline in Los Angeles, $8.20 or 21 cents a gallon. That was several hours ago. When was the last time you ever saw that? Never. See, now what if gas doubles again? Then what are they going to do? Sell for $16 in Los Angeles? The roads will be empty. For the first time in, 60 years, 70 years, there won't be any traffic jams in LA. The price of everything will go up. So we'll cover why this happened, what's likely to continue. We'll get into all of it. All right, I'm going to jump into my live stream now. Now, we do take prayer requests, toss requests, and things like that. That was close. You hear that? That was not on the ground because I didn't hear. I didn't feel anything in the windows didn't rattle, the doors didn't rattle, my feet didn't feel anything. That was in the air. That was Iron Domes doing a takedown. They didn't sound any sirens, so I don't know what was up with that. They probably just quickly detected a drone, maybe a loitering drone or something like that, and they blew it up. They may not have blown the siren because they knew they were going to blow it up without any doubt. So why bother, stuff like that. The drones, I don't know, 99, 98% of them get taken down. Probably about 99.5 in reality. Almost all of them. It'd be rare that drones get in. You can take the drones down with jets. You can take them down with helicopters, firing rockets. You can take them down with Iron Dome. They're not moving very fast. They're not going at incredibly high altitude. It's easy to get them. Okay, let me look at the live stream. Thank you, moderators. You really help a lot. Thank you. All right, I got to put a post up very quickly. This is likely going to run seconds, not minutes. Do I have any typos? Let me see. Nope. Let me pin this up and we'll be done with that. Why is this not? I gotta try again. YouTube is so they keep improving it and making it worse. They think they're making it better, but I don't think they are. All right. And let me, since we're a Bible believing site, Old and New Testament, I'm going to do some praise, and we'll see the ranks of people leaving the live stream because they want nothing to do with God. And you can join in if you want. There is no God like Jehovah. 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 There is no Messiah like Yeshua. 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 Okay. So the attacks on Israel are heavy again. And I can't tell you how upsetting that is to us because it's very difficult getting deliveries. My pet food supplier did just get a delivery in, so I ordered a bunch of food, more than I need. So in case something for the dogs, in case something happens, more delays, at least I'll have some cushion here. All right. So it's really a pain in the neck. Just when I thought we were going to get the ports and the ports are open, I think the airport's running freely. No. People in Israel are very upset now with the IDF. Not everybody, and I'm not so sure it's correct to be upset with them myself. We were attacking Hezbollah daily for months, 2, 3 times a day, right? And we were told and under the impression that Hezbollah didn't have what to fight with. And boy, do they ever. They're really laying it on us up in the north, mainly near the border. People in Kiryat Shmona and Metula over there are probably likely already left or they're going to leave. The government may resort to putting them back in hotels again. I don't know. But it's really a lousy situation. And they attack many times a day. And they can reach central Israel, which is, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, basically. In conjunction with this, Iran has stepped up their attacks on Israel. So we're really going through it. We're not getting a lot of casualties. There are some, generally from a takedown. The Iron Dome's a proximity weapon. We fire 2 at a time, and it gets near the bogey, and it blows up, and shrapnel hits the incoming projectile, drone, or missile, and breaks it, and the thing falls down. So you got to get the people off the street to protect them from shrapnel. Now, there's always a possibility that a big piece of a missile that weighs, 150 pounds would fall. It's not altogether common. It does occasionally happen. So as the missiles traverse across Israel, we shoot at them with Iron Domes until we get them. Unless we calculate the missile's going to land in an open field somewhere and blow up some corn or broccoli or something like that, and then we just let it happen. So people are upset and they want to know why the IDF didn't understand what the true nature of this was. Well, whenever you encounter something like this, you always have to look at Netanyahu for alternative motives. But I'm not so sure that we should pin the tail on Netanyahu or the IDF at all. I think Hezbollah outwitted us. Now, there's a few things that could be done that Netanyahu will never do. Or more, Netanyahu is Netanyahu's not a right-wing leader. Don't ever believe that. That's stupid. He's medium. He's in the middle. So what a right-wing leader would do is tell Lebanon point blank, listen, we give you 72 hours to shut down the missile launches from Hezbollah. Yes, you. And if your army wants to play the game, oh, we're Shiites and we're not going to attack other Muslims. Well, our next move is going to be, we're going to blow all your ports up so they can't bring more weapons in, and we're going to blow all your airports up. And we're not going to put holes in the runway. We're going to knock your radar out and your conning tower. It's going to take you months to get it fixed. Okay? 3 days we'll give you. And if we don't see any signs of progress, forget it. We'll cancel the 3 days. The only way that they're going to do anything is if there's a gun to their head. Okay? Now, basically, the military in Lebanon is giving a safe haven to Hezbollah to attack us. Trump won't go in. He's afraid it's too controversial, you know? The people of Lebanon will scream and go crazy and beg him and everything else, and then it's going to wind up costing him $40 or $50 billion to rehab Lebanon. He won't go near it. He'll help Israel with weapons, intel, whatever, but he won't do it. Yet he does it in Yemen. It's the same charade. Oh, those are the Houthis. That's not the government of Yemen. You can't listen to that. Okay. So right now we are bombing Lebanon. We do have boots in the ground. Let me tell you something. Taking control of the real estate from the border, Lebanon-Israel border, to the Litani River, 17 to 18 miles, is not going to stop Hezbollah. Their missiles got greater range than that. Their short-range missiles will stop it. Ground attacks will stop it. It'd be useful, but it's not meaningful enough to really mean much. So we got a big problem with Hezbollah. Now, Hezbollah gets paychecks from Iran. I think they get about $2,500 a month for a soldier. I'm not sure, something like that, maybe 2,000. I don't know. So when we finish Iran off, the paychecks stop, and that's going to be the end of Hezbollah. The government of Lebanon can't pay them. So our poor people that live up in the north are going to have to leave their homes again. Their homes will be getting destroyed and all that because the jackasses running Lebanon are providing a safe haven to Hezbollah. Don't tell me why they're doing it. They're doing it. Okay? I don't care why they're doing it. It could kill us. Syria is watching the border between Syria and Lebanon to make sure Syria doesn't like Hezbollah because they'll overthrow him. So he doesn't want the weapons going into Lebanon, and them going into Lebanon as a staging area, a training area, and then coming into Syria. He doesn't want that. Maybe he's not doing a good enough job. I don't know. Maybe they had these weapons going back for a long time, and they just had them extremely well hidden, and we didn't know about it. That's possible. It is. And then it's really nobody's fault. In Israel, I mean, oh, we could say the IDF and then, should have known better. Yeah, okay. So it's a real problem. And is Israel taking care of it aggressively? They're not as aggressive as they could be, like they are in Iran, but they're aggressive. This game they're playing has to stop, and it has to be the entire nation of Lebanon is at war with us, not just Hezbollah. Look, when Germany was at war, not every German citizen was at war, just the military. Well, we got a branch of the military in Lebanon called Hezbollah. And it's a Lebanese military, and it's at war with us. So the whole place is. Don't fall for these idiot arguments that, they're not really at war with us. It's just Hezbollah. Hezbollah has seats in their legislature. And Hezbollah's in the government of Lebanon. Don't fall for it like Netanyahu does. What they should do is tell Macron in France, listen, we're coming to you as a courtesy. Give the Lebanese government a real kick in the butt to get rid of Hezbollah, because we're coming in. We're going to drop, in a period of a week, 2,500, 3,000 bombs on Lebanon. So if you don't want to wake them up, that's fine. We'll do it. That's the only answer here. Okay? You just got to completely disrespect Lebanon. That's it. Otherwise, we're going to just have the same repetitions that we've had in the past. Targeted assassinations, they help, but they're minimal, minimal. We killed Ayatollah Shmukmani in Iran. Then there was a replacement, or somebody else took over briefly. I don't know. We killed that person. And now they haven't officially sworn him in, but they appointed the son. The son is, I don't know, probably in his mid-50s. The son was running Iran behind the scenes for his father. His father was an old man, did the speeches and stuff like that. The son did the military appointments, government appointments. The son was running Iran. So he had a lot of people obligated to him in the government. So the so-called group of experts apparently voted him in as the next Ayatollah Shmukmani. So he immediately goes on the endangered species list, and Israel is gunning for him now. But he's not officially sworn in. He's worse than his father. Apparently his father toned him down, but those days are over. So he's attacking worse now. He's hitting the oil refineries all through the Middle East. He's not focusing on Jordan because Jordan doesn't export oil. He's driving Saudi Arabia crazy, and that kid running Saudi Arabia is a coward like you've never seen. He's going to Iran, and they keep hitting his facilities over and over and over, and he's saying, well, if you don't stop hitting my facilities, I'm going to hit yours. And the Iranians are laughing at him. This stupid kid thinks we believe him. Hit his refineries again. Hit his house. He's a coward, and he's announcing it to them. They know it. He's scared to death. He'll see Iranian missiles land on his, $800 million house or something. This kid's a jerk. He was brought up with a platinum spoon in his mouth. And as a royal, constantly being told how great he is, he's a moron. I mean, this kid's a dumbbell. And he just runs around. You ever see him when he appears? He keeps his mouth shut. Why does he keep his mouth shut? Well, he probably doesn't know what he's doing. Is he retarded? I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he has, disabilities. I just think he's doesn't know what he's doing. He's a dumbbell. He's just some rich guy's kid. And you had that with the guy in Syria that ran away with all of Syria's money to Moscow, Bashar Assad. His father ran the country and then gave it to him like the corner grocery store, And he wrecked the place. You didn't know what he was doing, And you got the same thing in Jordan. You got this transactional little twit over there, complete moron. He has no idea who's on first or what's on second. He's completely confused. And the UAE is another rich kid who inherited the country from parents, another dumbbell. And Kuwait is the same thing. And Bahrain also. And Qatar may be a little different. And Oman is the same thing. These people are dumbbells. They're kids that grew up with billionaire, trillionaire families. Not only were they billionaires, they got, a wealth coming in of probably $3-4 million a day to the royal family, or more, 6 or 8 million a day. So they just spend whatever they want. So what do they become good at? They become good at feeling fabric. Oh, this is a fine robe. This is a good silk. This is a good, flax or, linen. Oh, this is good shrimp. Oh, this caviar is no good. This is better caviar. Oh, this beef is good, And, that's how they run around. And then they learn how to buy Brahman bulls and how to buy racing camels and predatory birds they can put on their wrists. Idiots. They buy racehorses. All their knowledge and expertise is how to acquire expensive things. How to get a house built where the air conditioning keeps it really cold. You ever been in a house where it's 103 degrees outside and your house is, 83, it's hot inside, you got to use fans, Okay, so they'll build a house when it's 103 outside. It'll be 70 in the house. How do they do it? They put multiple air conditioners in. What do you think they do? Huge ones, and lots of them. That's all they do. You got a house that is, when it's over 100, the house is over 80 degrees. Well, what do? You put a second air conditioner in, one for the upstairs, one for the downstairs, or you put one in the front of the house and one in the back. But they got such big houses, they got 10, 12 air conditioners, They get the finest water flown in from around the world, the finest clothes, the finest jewelry, the finest beds. People buy beds for $100,000 to $250,000. Yeah, they do. Special wool mattresses, handmade. They buy stuff like that. They buy the best furniture, and they know about these things. Oh, how to get the best carpet. That's what their expertise is in. They're morons. They know all the stupid things, okay? And some of them don't even know that, you know? They don't go to Epstein's Island. They never went there. They don't need to. They got their own places over there. There's no law enforcement in these Arab countries run by dictators. No law enforcement. It's dictator enforcement. And they can go and do whatever they want to poor people right there in their own house, torture, rape, plunder, pillage, whatever they enjoy, they could just do it. These are sick, demented people that run these countries, these dictators in the Middle East. They're all sick and demented, and they're all nuts. They're like grown-up children. Really, they're like children. I keep telling you, the Satan bots are like children. That's how they operate. They are. All right. So there's not a good situation for Israel right now. And if Trump did get into the attacks in Iran, in Lebanon, it would increase the destruction of Hezbollah, but he's afraid to get into it. It's not good. All right. Prayer requests. Okay, well, these are toss requests. All right. This is for SS and SS, two people. SS and SS. Sierra, 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 Sierra. Okay. These are false ministers. Okay. Satan bots that know they're serving the unclean spirits, that run around impersonating true believers, teaching the people errors. They're trying to blot out the name Yeshua by telling the people that's not the name. Well, if you know anything about reading Hebrew, that's the name. All right. So, my Heavenly Father, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, I loose from these two people, SS, and everyone who works for them, helps them, assists them, lives in the same premises as them, or volunteers for them. I loose off of and out of all these people any unclean spirits in them immediately, and these unclean spirits shall never return, and no unclean spirit shall appear to these people, guide them, lead them, direct them, help them, assist them, lie to them, deceive them, or arrange for people to do such to help them in any way, shape, or form. This shall not happen for the next 10 years continuously, beginning now, and no unclean spirit can enter into them for the next 10 years, beginning now. And you unclean spirits are so bound, irrevocably so, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, for 10 years. Okay, and you can agree with this if you like. These people are rather bad, okay? So we got to get rid of them. There's a lot of them that are rather bad, and if you want to nominate any of these people for spiritual warfare, that's fine with me. Just let me know. It's okay. All right. Next is a kind of rough prayer request. It's like a whole paragraph, and it's hard for me to figure it out. So we're going to break it up into one piece and then another piece at another time. All right. So my Heavenly Father, I submit a prayer for you for CC, Charlie, for CC. I pray that you would execute mercy on this CC individual who's dealing in a legal mess. And I pray for you to show mercy to CC and also HT as well. And I submit this to you, my Heavenly Father, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, and you can agree with that if you're a believer. And there's more to come with that, but for purposes of protection, I don't want to reveal what's coming right now yet. Okay, but it's coming. And there's time for that to happen. All right, next. We have a prayer request for JC, Juliet Charlie. JC, Juliet Charlie. Prayer request is to get over the flu and sinus infections. Okay, so I'll pray and you can agree. Let me just check something on these initials here. Give me a second. Okay, I had it right. I was concerned I had the initials wrong. All right. So my Heavenly Father Jehovah, I pray for JC to have a healing recovery rapidly from the flu and sinus infections, and to be healed up quickly and solidly. And I submit this to you, my Heavenly Father, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, and you can agree if you are a believer, and we make it more potent by agreeing. Okay, so let's continue. That's it for the prayer requests and toss requests. Okay. I do check the live stream if you want to put up a prayer request or a toss request. I'll see it during the broadcast. Bahrain, that's where the Americans have their Navy base in the Persian Gulf. Bahrain says an Iranian strike damaged a desalination plant, marking a new phase of the political targeting water. So this, I believe they're saying that a desalination plant in Iran was hit, and they're blaming, I don't know, the UAE. People were saying the UAE did it, and UAE said they didn't do it, and then Iran saying, I don't know who else did it. I don't know what happened yet. It'll clear up. We'll find out. Somebody did it. The desalination, basically you're taking water out of the ocean and you're getting the salt out of it, making it drinkable water. And they rely on that in the Middle East. You can't really tell too much about it. When you go to a cruise and you drink the water, I usually drink bottled water on a cruise, so I get more of the minerals and stuff. But I have, of course, drunk the desalinated water. The cruise ships desalinate the ocean water. It's fine. I mean, you don't notice it, you know. In Israel, you can buy a water desalination that works on solar. So if everything hits the fan, you just put that in your window, and it makes, I don't remember how much you get a day. I don't know, in liters. I don't remember how much you get. They got different sizes, of course, some of the size of a bus, and you could feed a small village with water. I mean, provide enough for a small village. I mean, a real small village, but you know, you could also buy two of these. But the last time I looked, they were about $4,000 or $5,000. So that's out of my league. All right. the IRGC bases are being massively bombed yesterday in western Iran, in the Kurdistan province, so to help the Kurds. Israel and perhaps America is destroying the military up there. So that makes it much harder for them to fight against the Kurds when they're got a lot of casualties, their bases and their equipment are blown up, So that helps the Kurds. So there was some sort of a serious security breach on Khomeini's son, the new Shmuck Khomeini. They call him Moshe Taba. Moshe Taba. How do you pronounce that? Let's just call him Shmuck Khomeini. Who has been designated as the next supreme leader. This character owns 2 luxury apartments overlooking the Israeli embassy in London. Why do rich people live by embassies in foreign countries? Well, I'll tell you why. They like to live by an American embassy or an Israeli embassy because they've got security people out on the street all the time, and they've got cameras out there. And nobody's going to start messing with, the American security network. In addition, most countries put what's usually referred to as diplomatic police on an American and Israeli embassy to protect it further. So no crooks are going to go across the street or down the street from these embassies and look to break into cars, rob houses, strong arm people in the street, rape people. They're not going to do that. They'll get caught. So if you're living in a rat hole country and you get yourself an apartment or a house right within 100 yards, or you could even say 200 yards of the consulate of the embassy that's heavily guarded, you're going to have a very, very low crime rate, even though you're in a very, very high crime country. Okay? The other side of it is if somebody decides they're going to attack the embassy or the consulate and blow it up, you could, have your windows broken or, something like that. But I doubt you really going to have that. I mean, so that's how they work. All right. Do I think Saudi Arabia is going to go through with it and attack Iran? Yeah, Yeah, because they got no choice. They'll have to. Do I think Jordan will? If they think it's safe, maybe. Qatar will also do it, not Kuwait, not Bahrain. UAE, Qatar will do it. Saudi will do it. It's probably about it. So this dweeb has two expensive apartments in where was it, London? Um, yeah, he's not going to go to those places ever again. He'll Other people will use them, or he'll sell them, or something. He's not going to go. He can't. He'll get grabbed. Trump said he'll kill any leader that Iran anoints that's not approved by him. And this Khomeini's kid is gonna, he's on the endangered species list. They're gunning for him. An American base 2 nights ago got hit, or it was last night? No, I think it was 2 nights ago. By an Iranian drone, hit a radar hit radar, American radar, at a American base in Kuwait. Now that radar is there to pick up launches, drones and missiles and aircraft, if that has any relevance, coming in to attack Kuwait, and that radar is gone. So their defense systems get worse. The Cyprus foreign minister, this is kind of humorous. The explosive drones that hit the British bases in Cyprus were launched from Lebanon. We must now focus on the Lebanese arena and not rule out anything. Okay, so he's talking about maybe he's going to do something to Lebanon. Well, I sincerely hope so, but I sincerely doubt he will. I think it's an empty threat. Okay. And it'll be very interesting to see what the president of France has to say about this, and Great Britain and stuff like that. Stammer from Great Britain is talking about sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. That's, I think, all they have. And Trump is saying he doesn't need people to join the war when the war's almost won. I think that the UAE did hit that desalination plant, and they got so scared they just backed off. Little rich kids don't normally grow up to be tough guys, okay? They're surrounded by bodyguards, and they're not like kids that grow up and learn what a bully is, okay? They don't know what a bully is. If anybody tried to bully them at school, the bodyguards would probably hold the bully with his arms pinned behind his back and let the rich kid punch him in the face or something, or just take the kid and bring him to his parents and get him in trouble or something like that. Um, they don't learn how to fight. They don't know when it's time to run and when it's time to fight. They don't know nothing. So this is getting funnier by the minute with the oil producing states in the Middle East. And it's only through the great wisdom and war manipulation and engineering of the war by the great Donald Trump where we get to see Muslims killing Muslims. Got to give him a hand. I've never seen an American president get the Muslims to kill Muslims. It's wonderful. The only thing Trump's not doing is saying, well, they're squatting on Israel's land and it's the time of recompenses, so they're getting punished. Well, that's the reality of what's going on, by the way, but he'll never tell you. He doesn't even know that. How would he know that? So Saudi is threatening. It's comical, you know. It's like you're in the 11th grade and you go to high school and some of these juvenile delinquents come over to you and they say, give me your lunch. No, it's my lunch. Boom, bang, boom, give me your lunch. Yeah, my lunch. You got any money on you? Open up your pockets. I want to see everything. Turn your pockets inside out. This money's my money. Every day you get money, I get the money. You hold out on me, boom, 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 right? So, okay. Then the next day the kid goes, you better watch it or I'm going to get you. Your last chance, you do this again, I'm going to beat you up. And the guy's cracking up laughing at him. Okay? That's all Iran's doing is laughing at him and knowing they can attack Saudi Arabia as much as they want. I think the father of this kid is still alive, but I think he just lays in bed and probably got tubes and stuff inside him, you know. They say if you continue to attack our energy infrastructure, we will attack you. You don't want to attack anybody, you two-bit punk. I wish he did it. I wish he would attack. If Saudi Arabia attacked Iran, what I would say is I wish Iran and Saudi Arabia the highest degree of success in their wars with each other. That's how Israelis talk. I wish them great success in their endeavors when they attack each other. They're our enemies too. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. They're our enemies. This is coming from the Iranian general, the spokesperson, the mouthpiece for the Iranian general staff of the security forces. Big mouthful. We have not closed and will not close these Straits of Hormuz. Any ship that wants to pass through the strait, we will not prevent, but it is said that the responsibility for the lives, equipment, and safety of the ship is on you. In short, what they're saying is you could try to pass, and we'll try to blow your ship up. If you're in a country that they don't like, they'll blow your ship up. So, who do they like? Well, they have several friends. North Korea, they like. They like China. They like Russia. Who else? I don't know. That might be it. They don't have a lot of friends. They saying Russia is still helping them in many different ways, but Russia certainly is not going to war shoulder to shoulder with them. I assume Russia can't take it with fighting Ukraine. They don't have the resources to fight, both places. I don't think they could do that. Okay, what happened to the Gerald Ford aircraft carrier? Here's what happened to it. No surprises. The Ford aircraft carrier passed through the Suez Canal towards the Red Sea. And what it did is it docked up by Saudi Arabia. So it's there to protect Saudi Arabia and their oil and their natural gas. That's all. And I think that was a major mistake because I'm pretty sure they can get it now. Iran and the Houthis really want to get an aircraft carrier, and they'll go after it. There's a multitude of missiles and drones that could hit that aircraft carrier from Yemen if it's in Saudi Arabia. It's close. Saudi and Yemen have a border. That was a bad move. I don't think that was the generals or the admirals that came up with that. That was Trump. Bad move. The aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle, that's a serious aircraft carrier, guys. French. Entered the Mediterranean Sea last night. Expected to reach its deployment location on March 10th. Today's the 9th. So Tuesday, it'll be wherever it's going to be. It might be taking the Mediterranean patrol over from the Gerald Ford. Because the Charles de Gaulle is pretty safe over there, and it can keep a pretty good eye on things. But we'll see what it's up to. So we got the Gerald Ford aircraft carrier here now, and the Lincoln, and then we got the Charles de Gaulle coming in. Now, this is a serious aircraft carrier. Don't take it lightly. It's got the ramp. It doesn't have the, steam-powered sling cable, but it's still a serious aircraft carrier, and they got pretty good jets. So don't take it lightly. The Iranians are now warning Azerbaijan, which is an ally of Israel. It's a Muslim state. So they're basically warning Azerbaijan to suck up whatever we do to you and don't attack Iran. And Azerbaijan either attacked Iran or has every intention of attacking Iran. And I sincerely wish Azerbaijan and Iran great success in their war with each other for both of them. That's really, I think, just the Iranians posturing. I don't know what they want to start opening up a front with Azerbaijan. I suppose they will. Um, they open up fronts with just about every other country in the Middle East. So they're trying to bring a crisis on in the West with the oil, and it looks like they're going to get there. This is what Azerbaijan is saying to Iran. The Republic of Azerbaijan, as a Muslim country, we announced that to prevent the spread of insecurity in the region, the Zionists must be expelled from this country and not endanger the security, its residents, and the security of Islamic Iran. Oh, wait a minute. This is Iran speaking. I'm sorry. This is the Iranians talking to Azerbaijan, not the other way around. Okay. So the Iranians are just talking trash. That's all they know what to do. All right. Now we got some minor conflict with Israel striking a lot of the Iranian oil facilities. America's not that interested in it. And I would say there's a good reason for that. In terms of America's thinking of rebuilding Iran and the protesters taking it over, and he wants them to have the oil so his friends at Chevron can move in and take over, make a lot of money. And I can't prove that they would kick back to Trump, but such things do happen. the IDF took control of radio frequencies in southern Lebanon. This is funny. And broadcast instructions for the imminent evacuation of residents from the southern Lebanon, from South Lebanon northward beyond the Litani River. So we're getting very aggressive over there. The reality is you might have to get up over 100 miles from the border to drive them to such a distance that missiles won't work. This is okay. This is Trump. This is scary. Trump being interviewed on ABC, American Broadcasting Corporation, I guess. The next leader of Iran will not survive long if he does not receive my approval for the position. Wow. That's the great voice, the hammer of the whole earth. Nobody else. Meanwhile, the Iranians are shooting in all directions, anyone in the Middle East. They're getting everybody. They're not, well, I haven't seen them do anything to Armenia yet, but they will. But Armenia is pretty far away, but they'll get to it. The American ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz. Our allies in the Gulf are outraged and are going to take military and diplomatic actions in the coming days and weeks. So this is coming from somebody plugged into the American, infrastructure that would know. Okay. So the people that Iran is hitting have every intention of raising up arms against Iran, but we've only seen talk. So this is what happened. From analysis of the Chinese Mizan Vision satellite image, it is evident that the American aircraft carrier Gerald Ford has positioned itself off the coast of Al Ujaj in Saudi Arabia. This is after crossing the Suez Canal over the weekend. So I thought it was docked up at Saudi Arabia. It could be it's just moored offshore in the harbor, like it could be, 1 or 2 miles from the coast, or I don't know what. I believe 3,000 strikes from America on Iran. 43 ships were hit. Now the count goes up every day. Yeah, it's an honest count. 43 Iranian ships have been hit. So believe me, America's doing its job, and they're doing a good job. But the amount of weapons that these psychopaths have accumulated is so massive. It's just a huge job to get rid of them. Um, the Iranians, this is what they're saying, and some of the Israelis are getting nervous because we think it's a way for them to cover using chemical attack missiles and drones. The Iranian Foreign Ministry says attacks on fuel storage facilities are nothing less than deliberate chemical warfare. So they might start using chemical weapons against us and other people and just say, we're responding in kind. They're destroying airports, piers, and oil storage facilities and refineries in the Middle Eastern countries. And they're going to run out of those targets soon. So then they might start trying to destroy the population with chemical weapons. It would probably be chlorine gas. I haven't heard of any nation using mustard gas in decades. I think it's a lot easier for them to work with chlorine. That means things shift to not only bomb shelters, you got to have gas masks and stuff like that. So it remains to be seen if they got the guts to do that. If they do, America's going to call other countries in. And I think that Trump would probably call for another 200 or 300 planes, and the bombings in Iran would become so impossibly tough for them to survive. I don't know what they would do, but okay. So the final word is the UAE is set down a firm denial of hitting the water desalination plant in Iran. Does that mean that they didn't do it? Heck no. It means they're denying it. That's what that means. Remember, these Muslim states lie and they lie and they lie. Iran's foreign minister rejects calls for a ceasefire. We need to continue fighting for the sake of our people. Pressed about whether Iran is receiving Russian support, Abbas Araghchi told NBC News, Meet the Press, that so Iran has every intention of continuing the war. And it's very vague as to what all Russia is doing to help Iran. I'm sure the CIA and the Mossad know, but they're not talking. And the reason they're not talking may not be that because that intel is so precious, it's the source is so precious. Israel is telling us that our interceptor production is outpacing Iran's missile output. Yeah, but we don't really know how many missiles Iran has in storage either. So it's not a very comforting thought, especially after we realize that Hezbollah is not anywhere near as weak as we were being led to believe. But again, I'm not so sure to blame the military on this. I'm really not that sure. The analysis of the Iranian missile launchers so far shows no new weapon systems compared with past conflicts, according to INSS data. Since the war began, Iran has fired about 600 ballistic missiles and more than 1,500 drones towards 12 countries across the Middle East. So their missiles are the same stuff from June. That's what it's saying. And the latest count we had was a day ago that Iran had about 120 missile launches left. Now, as I keep reminding you, the amount of missiles is nowhere near as important as the amount of missile launchers. Okay? Missile launchers are the kingpin. And in the prophecy of Elam in Jeremiah 49, the Lord says he will destroy the bow of Elam, their might. That's the launcher. The arrow is the missile. The bow is the missile launcher. An arrow literally is a missile. Okay? It's a projectile. It's a missile. It doesn't explode, but they got fire arrows and other kinds of arrows. You know, they had fire arrows a long time ago, too. That's old hat. This looks like nonsense. Let me take a look. My wife's running around today, so let me see what this is real quick. Probably nothing that's serious, but It's not much. Okay. Um, so we don't have to worry. It's telling us we don't have to worry about new technology. All right. I'm going to take a quick break for a minute. I'll be right back. If the other countries like Qatar, UAE, and Saudi join the war, I don't know what kind of targets they're going to hit. Saudi is saying, and I think the UAE, and also Qatar said they're going to hit the oil targets. But Trump is saying he doesn't want the oil getting hit. So I don't know what they're going to hit. They're not going to hit civilians. Well, I'm sure they'll find things to hit, but I wouldn't be too excited about what damage they'll do. Trump said he's going to decide when the Iranian war ends outside of Israel. And then he told the Israel Times newspaper that he'll decide when the Iranian war is over with Netanyahu. So he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. We keep hearing that they're far from done, and it's just going to get worse from here for the Iranians. Hegseth is telling Iran that they're going to face unconditional surrender as the U.S. and Israel strikes expand. Oh, they might welcome in Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia too. They have jets. They could each deploy, a dozen jets or something like that. It adds up, Israel is not happy about what Hezbollah is doing to the poor people that live up by the border over there. They're pounding them with lots of missile salvos because they could use very short-range weapons. Saudi steps it up and tells Iran that their attacks are going to cause long-term harm to their ties, to their relationship. So, if they think that the Iranians are going to be fearful of those verbal threats, they're out of their minds. If Iran falls apart, Hezbollah falls apart because nobody's going to pay them. Lebanon has no money to pay them. They're not paying them. So actually, the WTI oil a little while ago, before I started the broadcast, was at $115 a barrel. The Brent also at $115. LA was selling gas for $8.20, and they went up to about $119 as the high in the last 24 hours, and the gold it dropped to $5,091, and the silver dropped to 83, which is down from 84, so barely a drop. I think we're just going to have to wait for the oil to go up even more, and then when it gets to ridiculous levels, which it will, then the oil and gas, the gold and silver will go crazy. The IRGC said they're ready to obey fully the new Ayatollah Khamenei and sacrifice themselves according to his command. He is upping the missile flow to Israel. I don't think he's long for this world. The IRGC is writing on their missiles now that they're launching to Israel. It's saying, "I'm at your service, Syed Moj Tabaj, the kid of the new, Ayatollah Shmokmani, the kid, So they want to go pledge they're going to kill themselves for this freaking lunatic. Go ahead. At the same time, the opponents of the regime in Iran, the protesters, if you will, have renamed the street in honor of President Trump. They're naming, they're like Israel. They're crazy. They're naming a street after Trump. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The bad news is this is just going to make Trump's head get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to get worse and worse with this guy. People that are knowledge in Israel are saying that this new Khomeini, the son, is going to be a lot worse than the father, or worse. Maybe not a lot, but worse. The IDF is saying they're going to hunt down and kill this guy, the new Ayatollah Shmokmani, and anyone else they put in. And America's gunning for him too. So this kid is going to have a life of living underground. A French media outlet is saying that 3 Indonesian sailors are missing, presumed dead probably, after Iranian forces sunk a ship belonging to the United Arab Emirates in the Straits of Hormuz. So that was when they still had capability of sinking a ship. I don't know if they still have. They lost 43 ships. Well, they can use their go fast boats. They might have up to 3,000 of those. I would say at least 1,500. Probably somewhere in between 1,500 and 3,000. So the UAE never did take credit for the attack on that water desalinator. Other media, especially in Israel, attributed it to them. So let's take a look at the live stream to see if we got questions coming up. I'm going to do some praise, and we'll see the ranks of people leaving the live stream because they want nothing to do with God. And you can join in if you want. There is no God like Jehovah. 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 Let's see if I have any questions. Why not stay in a hotel then? I'm not going to a hotel. Uh, Hotels don't have any good security. They have bombs. They're not that good, believe me. I have 2 bomb shelters in my place. Oh, we're back with Zechariah 14. Why don't you tell me how we're going to get Zechariah 14 before Zechariah 12? I really want to hear that, okay? You're just a Jew hater. Trump, greatest president ever, huh? Wait. It's Yeshua and Jehovah. It's not Yeshuva. Okay, I think you made an honest typo or something. Uh, will it escalate to chemical and biological weapons? I don't know. There's no extremely strong indication. Um, Forget biological weapons; they don't work well. Okay. Um, they don't work well. The other thing you got to understand: look, you drop a biological weapon, you got to explode it in the atmosphere. It comes down. If the person's outside and it gets on their skin and it's the right kind of biological agent, you might get an effect. But how long is it good for? It's out there in the sun, it's out there in the rain and humidity, it's getting diluted with the dirt and the dust, the wind blowing it around. And all. It doesn't last long. It's not. And that's if it even survives the explosion, dispersing it in the atmosphere. They're not going to do that. They use chlorine. It lands on the ground and then the gas disperses and that's it. You got to be in pretty close proximity to it for it to work. Um, all that'll happen is more and more bombings if they try stuff. It'll just escalate. Um, Now, we don't, can you deliver chemical weapons in a hypersonic ballistic missile 1,000, 1,200 miles? Gee, I don't know. I've never seen that done. I never have. Now, if America can do it, that's one thing, but I've never seen it done by any of these crazy countries, so I don't know. What Syria did is they took barrel bombs. They looked like knee high or maybe thigh high propane gas tanks. They were more of a softer barrel, and they dropped them out of helicopters. They were full of chlorine gas, and they would hit the ground and break open, and the chlorine gas would come out. And the people in close proximity would get very badly hurt or dead. But you got to be in pretty close proximity to it. If it drops 200 feet away, I don't know if it'll really hurt you. Maybe if the wind blew it at you, or you ran away from it, or you were indoors, it probably wouldn't do much. It's not that effective. Okay. Can it be the case that Israel would return and do it to them? Not with a leader like Netanyahu. No. Netanyahu doesn't have the guts for that. No, he wouldn't. What it would do, it would just anger Trump to the nth degree. And then he would try to calm down and call the Pentagon and ask them what to do. And they would know exactly what to do. And they would do it. So it would be more jets, more aircraft carrier. It would be more of an annihilation of them, because the military would say, Mr. President, they got to go, because they're going to keep doing stuff like this, and they're going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. We got to get rid of them. They're going to wipe out all our allies, Now, I think they would be very likely to use, this is a good question, by the way. They would be very likely to use chemical weapons if there was a ground invasion, because then they could use the barrel bomb concept or some other concept. But I'm not so sure that they can deliver this with a hypersonic ballistic missile. Okay? I'm just not. It has to explode in the atmosphere in a way to disperse the chemical agents and not destroy it. And that's not so easy. And what happens if it heats up in the missile from friction with the air because it's going 5,000 miles an hour or something like that? What happens then? Not so sure. And there's always a chance that Israel will go back at them with chemical weapons of their own. There's no UN watchdogs sitting there, with cameras looking. I don't know if Israel will do it or not. This kid, the new successor, the son of the old Khomeini, yeah, it's possible. But you got a lot of technical problems. Now, with the bioweapons, let's say they do anthrax. Well, there's an antibiotic called Cipro that cures anthrax. You got to take probably a 10-day course, 2 or 3 a day. And you probably got 2 days anyway to take it before you start seeing symptoms, maybe 3 or 4 days even. So, yeah, that the anthrax isn't going to be that dangerous. If you take the Cipro, you're probably going to have a 90, 98% recovery, or 99, or, very high. What are they going to, I don't know what they're going to do, I don't think they're going to try that, though. Their orientation is not in that direction. They're not really high on that. I don't think so. But you never know, and you don't know what America and Israel would do. Can Iran cut internet cables? Yep. I don't think there's very many in the Persian Gulf, but other places they probably could if they wanted to. Using the Houthis to do it. It's generally a mess, guys. It's generally a mess. And I don't know what to tell you, but it's not going well. Do I think we're going to lose? Oh, no. No, 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 no. I was just hoping for the airports to be open today or tomorrow, and it may not be the case. It may take till the weekend, this coming weekend. I don't know. But it'll happen. We'll peel Hezbollah down. We'll probably have to be there on the ground, and Hezbollah's looking forward to that because they're thinking they could kill a few soldiers. And I'm not happy to say this at all. I'm very sad to say it, but when you go in on the ground, the chances of Hezbollah killing our soldiers increases tremendously. What they're in the habit of doing is taking shoulder-fired anti-tank missiles and shooting them at our guys, shooting them at vehicles, shooting them at a building. It's an explosive, a powerful explosive rocket. Again, once we destroy Iran and the payroll stops, I would think of nothing but the Houthis and the Hezbollah disbanding. Who's going to pay them? They're going to have to go get a job. You understand? They get a high salary now, more than most people are going to make in Lebanon, the Hezbollah, and the same in Yemen. So they get paid pretty good. Well, it sure looks more and more like Elam is going to be destroyed by her enemies, which could be parts of Iraq and Iran, and maybe a piece of Syria, where the Kurds are, for instance, and Iraq, where the Kurds are, for instance, which is already having a lot of fighting. And it might be all of Iraq. I don't know. But it looks like it's on. More enemies are stacking up. I mean, they're stupid attacking 12 nations. What do you think? They got some sort of special weapon they haven't used? Like they've found DNA from Japanese motion production studios and made an actual Godzilla. What do they got? I mean, they don't have aircraft. Whatever they had floating in the water, except Go Fast boats, is gone. A Go Fast boat is a pleasure boat modified to shoot weapons. Yeah, like 50, 60-foot, 70-foot boat. There's a lot of them, so they present a threat to American boats and also foreign aircraft carriers too. But they can be taken out. You just need, if they swarm with 100 at an aircraft carrier, you just need to have, a dozen or so planes shooting them down, shooting the boats up with 2 3/4 inch rocket pods or guns, and that's it. The submarine's probably not going to do much good. They'd have to launch the submarine at the torpedo at the surface, which they could do, and then hit the boat. But that's overkill. And the boat would see the submarine wake and be able to evade it because it's a small, agile boat and it goes very fast. So I don't think that's the way to go. Meanwhile, what works is back to basics. What's back to basics? You got drones up in the air, you got planes up in the air all the time. You see a missile launcher, boom, it's gone. They launch a missile, you got GPS coordinates, boom, it's gone. Okay? Um, no missile launchers, no, the missiles don't matter. Then they're neutered, and then what comes next is probably on the ground, an overthrow, putting the Shah's son in power and things like that. That always is going to work. Back to basics. Let's kill their military, kill everything military, special emphasis on the missiles and the missile launches, and you're going to win. That's it. Back to basics. It's going to work. Okay? It's going to work. They got no navy to dominate. Oh, they could dominate right outside there. Now, they may take over an island. Iran has some islands in the Strait of Hormuz area. One of these islands just got blown up. They had a gas storage facility there, and America blew it up, I think. And the thought is maybe America is going to put troops on that island. For the life of me, I don't know why they would. What good would it do? I don't see it. Why? I don't know why. You know, it's not attached to the mainland, so I don't know what's the point. Yeah. I'm sure that Israel and America have special forces in Iran now. I don't have any doubt about that. The protesters would, of course, help conceal them and stuff like that. So they're also not just hitting the missiles and the missile launchers, they're hitting the Bajis, which is a force that is there to suppress the people. The IRGC, same thing. Their Navy, well, they could run around calling themselves Admiral and Commander and stuff like that, but of what? Of 50, 60-foot long boats? Well, go ahead. They have no aircraft to speak of. It's just a question of keep whittling them down. Back to basics. Basics works. It doesn't miss. So they're making a habit of blowing up the police stations, the bases for the police and their security forces, and that just helps the protesters take over. It's a little early, but by the end of the week, they probably will start trying to take over. The Kurds are already doing that. And yeah, I mean, they'll be able to do it. Now, when you blow their base up, the IRGC, the Baij, whatever they call themselves, in a given province, what happens when all the bases are gone? Well, they don't have a jail. They don't have a place to report to work. They don't have a place to go check out a vehicle. They don't have a locker to go change. They don't get briefings. I mean, how do they operate and coordinate themselves? What about radio communications? Radio communications got geographic limits. So how does that work? So they become crippled. You understand? They become crippled and they're not effective this way. They could, of course, put tents up and meet in a tent or meet in a public library and move in there. And, there's things they could do. But, okay, they move into a public library. Great. They don't have anything there. No computers, no communications, no prison, no barracks, no lockers, no toilets, no food, no coffee. They had nothing there. What do they got? No weapons, nothing. It makes it easier for the protesters to turn into Che Guevara or Fidel Castro revolutionaries and take it over. That's what we're waiting for. They'll start destroying the mosques, which is going to break morale more and more over there. Where's their God? You know what I'm saying? Uh, the go fast boat's got to be dealt with at some point where they're going to not have the Persian Gulf open. But if the refineries are destroyed, the Persian Gulf opening is not going to do that much. It will let food in. That's a concern they have, but they could truck food in, push comes to shove. Um, Nobody's doing anything about Hamas. They put that on the back burner. Hamas isn't shooting missiles. They got nothing to shoot at us. So they're just there. Um, the Houthis haven't really kicked into gear. We'll see when they do it. They know they're going to get trouble. Netanyahu will pull a few planes off every now and then to go down there and bomb them, but he's not going to go into any serious bombarding exercises down there because it's way more important to work against Iran. And we're suffering in the meantime with Hezbollah bombing us and attacking us. I think we're getting some of the tourists out of here. The airport's not under heavy attack. Hezbollah's not going at the airport. So we're getting people out slowly, I think, tourists that need to leave. Generally, the drill is you fly them to Cyprus, and then from Cyprus, they make their own, they book their own flights. That's what is going on. A lot of people in government work are told to work from the house. Damage to the people is pretty slight, but any damage is bad to the people, and property damage is very slight, but it's there, but slight. So it's just a general pain in the neck. Last night we slept through the night. The dogs and my wife and me, that didn't sound good, did it? But we all slept through the night. So my wife's running around playing barley inspection today. I don't follow it too much. If the barley's ripe, what are you going to do with it? We got no temple, no altar, no working priesthood. What are you going to do with it? I mean, it's interesting and it's nice, and I do talk to her about it. I mean, it's definitely interesting, for sure. But I think the moon controls the years, not the crop. But nonetheless, it's still an interesting topic, and they got a lot of infighting. There's a ton of Satan bots operating in this barley thing. Um, there are Satan bots all over the place trying to preach a phony gospel. We're swimming with them. Yeah. Tourism, I would say, is of course zero. How you can get a flight? So tourism to me is zero. In case you might have occasionally some guy that gets in a private boat and goes from Cyprus or Italy to Israel. I mean that's like one a week, maybe. It's rare. Um, You could get into Israel if you wanted to. You could fly to Jordan, but they get under attack too. To get out of attack, you'd have to fly into Egypt and then work your way over to the border and come in by a lot. And that could be done. That certainly could be done. And they're not firing at Egypt at all. So, yeah, you could do that. A lot is not really getting hit, but the Houthis could fire up any moment and start hitting them. The Houthis are likely afraid of what kind of bombing they're going to get. So I don't know why they're delaying. They might just be going after the shipping because that's pretty safe. MSC, big commercial shipping company, with big boats, is changing their routing. They don't want to go through anywhere near the Houthis are. So that's going to add time and expense onto all the goods being transported that way. So give me a break for a second. I'll be right back. There was also a phony rumor. I don't know why people fall for this, but the way this rumor went, and it was maybe 12 hours ago or a little more, I don't know, that a pipeline in Saudi Arabia was hit and it knocked out 5 million barrels a day, and there's no evidence of that. One of the best places to pick up this false news is Twitter, loaded with it. YouTube is way less. YouTube's probably 80-90% less fake news. I don't know about Instagram and Facebook and stuff. I don't have any idea. Trump was out playing golf yesterday. That was actually good because it irritates the Iranians. So that was good. I never really got behind going out and hitting balls with a stick into a hole in the ground. I have had pool tables in my life. That's relatively enjoyable if you have people come over and you shoot pool. It could be fun, but not the end of the world, but it could be fun. So if I was going to say what's more to come, it's going to be more of the same. There likely could be other people coming into the war, France, UK, maybe Cyprus, and the Arab oil producing countries that are getting hit in the Middle East, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, Saudi, Jordan, but only a few of them would come in. Probably Qatar, UAE, and Saudi. And Azerbaijan likely will go in. The Taliban haven't come to the aid of Saudi Arabia or anything like that. So that's what we got, okay? And I'll do some prayers for us and then a little spiritual warfare. So, my Heavenly Father Jehovah, I pray for all the true believers in their households and me and my wife. I pray we would have your strength, stamina, and endurance from you. We would have your healing and recuperative power, that we wouldn't get sick, ill, or hurt, or injured, and your recuperative healing power would heal our bodies wherever it needs healing. And I pray we got a siren. And I pray that our animals and pets be safe and secure, happy, healthy, and whole, and the same for us. B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. Let's listen to this attack here. Not hearing any iron domes. I got the window closed, and you're hearing it, but it's pretty loud with the window open. Still nothing, rather unusual. It stopped, nothing. It may be that we took it down before it got here, or it veered off course, or it didn't follow the predicted trajectory, and we might hear some explosions from nearby. That was it. Could have been a drone, and one of our jets or helicopters took it out, but I didn't hear any jets or helicopters in the air. We'll find out what it is. I don't know what it was, but life in Israel. Okay, let's continue. And I also pray, my Heavenly Father, for all the true believers and their households, and me and my wife, that we would have adequate finances, and that if we need work, we find work, and good work, productive work. And if we need clients and customers for our businesses or enterprises, we find that as well. And I pray that we would understand the scriptures better. I pray that I could do a better job with the live streams. And I pray for the peace. There it is. Wow. That was a lot of explosions. It was far away. And I prayed for the peace of Yerushalayim, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. I guess you maybe didn't hear that too good, but it was about 3 seconds of rumbling. So I didn't feel the windows shake or the ground, and I felt no pressure in my ears. Now, when big ordnance goes off in Syria, which is really further away than that by far, it shakes the windows and the doors, and you feel it in the ground. So it was an explosion in the air, I believe. Or it could have, no, I believe that was in the air. That was our anti-missiles blowing it up. Anti-missile missiles. See, but nobody wants to be outside when this happens. That's the problem. Where do I think that went off? In the Golan Heights, probably. If it was at the border with Lebanon, we wouldn't hear it unless it was some massive explosion. It could. I mean, it would. If it was a 500-pounder or something like that, yeah, we'd hear it and feel it. Okay. So basically, that's what I got. Pray for my wife to be safe because she's running around outside today. And appreciate the prayers. Now, you can agree with my prayers that I've done, and I think you should if you're a believer. And please keep praying that I get my situation resolved favorably with the welfare, private and public type stuff here I'm working on in Israel, which has been moving good, but the war kind of stopped it because people aren't going to work, they're working from home. So in the government and in the private sector and in every sector, I don't know, some of the people in the grocery stores are going to work and the gas stations are going to work and stuff like that. But it's, it's weird. Okay, and I submit all this to you, my Heavenly Father, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, and I loose, my Heavenly Father, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, my Heavenly Father, Jehovah, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, I loose all witchcraft and sorcery and the like from any of the true believers, their households, me and my wife, and anything we own, possess, control, or set a hand to. It's all loosed off us, never to return again, of no value, no effect. B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. And I further, and you can agree with that, and B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach, I bind all you unclean spirits, all of you, from giving any true believer or their household, including me and my wife, any thoughts, ideas, notions, feelings, impersonating God or the Holy Spirit or an angel or a minister of God, and no dreams and visions from any unclean spirit or person serving unclean spirits for the next 40 years continuously, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. I don't want that happening. There's a lot of people that think they're talking to the Lord and the Holy Spirit, and they're not. They're talking unclean spirits. It's a sad thing. It goes on. You can usually tell by what they're telling you to do, but you got to be careful. Satan comes as an angel of light, and coming as an angel of light to unbelievers isn't going to do much good. Coming to believers that way would be more effective. When he comes to an unbeliever, he comes to him as a piece of garbage demon. Hey, throw your eternity away for some riches today, and I can help you. That's his message. He's an idiot, and the people that follow him are bigger idiots. And a lot of them come in here and watch us. So do spiritual warfare on them. So that's what I got for today. I'll keep updating Telegram. If stuff gets weird or wild, I'll make other live streams. If any of you have ideas for a Bible study that you want me to do, send it in. My email address is in the lowest line down in the description box. It's israelgiving with the number 7 at gmail.com. israelgiving with the digit 7 at gmail.com. It's all one word. And I'm not saying for sure I'll do it, but I'll check with the Lord, and if he wants me to do it, I'll do it. Very often I do it. Okay. And that's what I got now. So I send my shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach, and thank you for praying for me. I know there's a lot of people praying for me, and I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm out.